In an instant, a routine task on a rig floor turned into a life-or-death situation. Two experienced crew members were working high above open water, surrounded by steel structures, hydraulic lines, and heavy drilling equipment. It was a tight, unforgiving space where every movement depended on trust in the platform beneath them. Without warning, the working surface failed. A securing point or balance mechanism gave way, and the section of platform they stood on dropped suddenly toward the sea below. There was no time to react, no chance to grab onto anything solid. Gravity took over instantly. What stopped this from becoming fatal were the safety systems already in place. Their harnesses and lifelines caught them mid-fall, suspending both workers in open air. Shaken but alive, they were left hanging above the water, a stark reminder that even experienced crews are only one failure away from disaster, and that safety gear is often the final line between survival and tragedy. On a quiet paved street, a delivery truck sat parked with its rear doors open. One worker was unloading tall stacks of green crates, likely filled with bottled drinks. It looked like a routine stop, the kind repeated countless times every day without incident. But shortcuts were being taken. The worker attempted to move an unstable stack alone, without proper lifting equipment or assistance. As the load was pushed toward the edge of the truck bed, its center of gravity shifted beyond recovery. The crates tipped forward and fell hard onto the pavement below. Containers shattered on impact, liquid spilling across the ground. The accident wasn't dramatic, but it was completely avoidable. Poor load control, lack of equipment, and working alone turned a simple task into wasted product, lost time, and unnecessary risk. Inside a large open space, a lone worker stood high atop a mobile scaffolding tower, attempting to dismantle it piece by piece. There was no safety harness, no spotter below, and no clear plan guiding the process. Instead of disassembling the structure from the ground upward, critical components were removed while the worker remained standing on them. With each piece taken away, the tower became less stable. Eventually, the structure could no longer support itself. The scaffolding shifted, collapsed, and the worker fell with it. The injuries that followed were the result of a basic safety rule being ignored. When temporary structures lose integrity, they do so without mercy or warning. At an unpaved construction site, a crane-mounted truck prepared to lift a heavy blue container. The operation appeared calm, with clear weather and no immediate signs of danger. But the planning had already failed. Either the load was underestimated, or the crane's outriggers were not positioned correctly for the reach and weight involved. As the container rose, the imbalance became visible. Slowly at first, then unmistakably, the front of the truck lifted off the ground. The crane tipped under the shifting load, its stability overcome by poor weight distribution. What should have been a routine lift turned into a near-catastrophic failure driven entirely by physics and preparation errors. In a busy tire service area, multiple workers moved quickly around heavy truck wheels and inflation equipment. Efficiency was clearly the priority, and that pressure led to a dangerous decision. Instead of inflating tires individually and monitoring pressure carefully, multiple tires were connected and filled simultaneously. One tire continued receiving air beyond its safe limit. When it failed, it exploded violently. The blast sent debris outward with tremendous force, narrowly missing nearby workers. High-pressure systems store enormous energy, and when that energy is released uncontrolled, the consequences can be fatal. If videos like this help you understand how real incidents unfold and how they can be prevented, consider subscribing. It supports the channel and helps us keep making these videos. And for you, it means more real incidents explained clearly so the same mistakes can be avoided. Along a narrow ledge carved into the face of a cliff, an excavator fitted with a hydraulic breaker chipped away at solid rock. The operator worked inside the reinforced cabin, focused on removing a stubborn section of stone. What couldn't be seen was the instability above. Vibrations from the breaker loosened a much larger section of rock hidden higher up the cliff face. Without warning, the rock broke free and crashed directly onto the excavator. The reinforced cabin absorbed the impact, protecting the operator. Had the debris been larger or struck differently, the machine could have been pushed off the ledge entirely, sending both operator and equipment down the slope below. At a fire department training ground, firefighters practiced handling charged hose lines under controlled conditions. The environment was familiar, designed for learning rather than danger. One firefighter accidentally opened the nozzle to full flow. Instantly, the hose reacted with immense force, thrashing violently as water pressure surged through it. Unable to control the reaction, the firefighter struggled to maintain grip while the hose became a serious hazard to everyone nearby. A colleague quickly shut off the water, stopping the situation before it escalated further. Even in training environments, small mistakes can create real danger. At a construction site, 4 workers operated around a makeshift scaffolding structure. 2 worked above, while others moved below. The scaffolding itself was poorly built, lacking proper bracing and a stable foundation. As work continued, the structure began to shift. 1 worker below instinctively tried to hold it upright, while another ran clear. Moments later, the entire scaffolding collapsed into a pile of metal and debris. By pure luck, no one was injured. But the outcome could easily have been different. Temporary structures built without proper standards rarely fail slowly, and when they do collapse, there is rarely time to escape.